Murray Sinclair speaks about truth and reconciliation in that video, and he talks about residential schools. He talks about where situations where children had been taken away from their families, raised in settler homes, from minute situations that have been used as a point to claim that a family is unfit, a mother's unfit, that we have, as settlers, there has been a history of assuming that Indigenous people in our communities in Canada have lived a life where they themselves are the root of their own problems, that we as settlers have advanced through our society, advanced in our lives, in our homes or businesses, purely off of our own work and lineage. But there is an acknowledgement that Murray Sinclair wants people to begin to work through, and that is that there has been systems that have oppressed and stolen from Indigenous people in Canada, in our communities, that have to the most recent time that we're in right now, has still been adversely affecting our Indigenous communities. And through that, a lot of people within those communities have a very hard time, where they do have to think and react with that trauma, to feel less than, to have all those stigmatizations by people who aren't from the land, who have settled here, from our governments, who have put a label on Indigenous people, that they drink, that they are not fit to raise their children, that what they claim to fight for now, the history, it is not as bad as they make it out to be. And a lot of the times, settlers live on this land with ignorance that things haven't happened. So through his speech, Murray Sinclair very much wants to encourage that as a principle to truth and reconciliation, that we do need to really acknowledge and work through our ignorance, and that would be a way to build truth and reconciliation. Maybe not now, maybe, as he said, not for his children, but maybe down the line, where truth and reconciliation can happen. For myself, I think that he is right in so many facets of his message. I think that ignorance breeds so much. Even if we're not aware, I think ignorance feeds into marginalization, it feeds into oppression, even though we would like to think that we ourselves do not benefit from who we are, where we come from, as settlers, I think that there is a lot of work to be done for ourselves. I think for Indigenous people, they put a lot of work into working through the trauma, building communities, fighting for the land, getting their voices heard. And it isn't for them to do the work, it's for us to do the work, to have our ears open, for us to learn from teachers, from elders, to give ourselves into their causes, and to very much acknowledge our history. I think in terms of the deaf community, I think that coming into this program, starting out with Sign 1000 and into the ASL and Deaf Studies program, there has been a lot of relearning. There has been a lot of eye-opening coursework and talks with community members that very much show us as hearing individuals that we do take advantage of our positionality as deaf people who are marginalized within our systems, which includes medical, criminal, all kinds of systems that we as hearing people might take advantage. For deaf people, there is a lot that accessibility isn't there, that there has been many people within the community that have had to work through their trauma, who have had to face discrimination. So I think when it comes to us as people in a positionality of benefiting, I think that what Marie Sinclair has spoken about really resonates all across the board, that there is acknowledgements that need to be made. There needs to be relearning, retooling, and yeah, I think that's what I've taken from the video. Thank you.